Alright guys, we got a little different video today. Today we're going to be looking at the MUME mobile app. I've started this video so many times because I don't know how to get into it, so we're just gonna start talking, okay? Whole point of this was to make MUME a little bit more accessible to people who want to play it on their phones, which is like everybody who logs in at some point, especially most newbies are going to be like, oh, I think I'm going to check it out on my phone, right? And hey, I want to play on my phone sometimes too. Anyway, so this is what it looks like. Two main goals, again, make it accessible for people on their phones, and then also just make it a little more newbie accessible. There's a lot of stuff going on here, a lot could change, but whatever, here it is, right? Let's talk about the map first, because this is, I don't even know where to jump into things, this is so many stuff. So let's talk about the map first. You move by tapping on the map or swiping on the map. So I can swipe a direction and that will send me moving in that direction, right? I can tap on the map and that will send the look command. And this is just by far the most intuitive way of moving. I tried kind of like a D-pad type thing. I tried buttons. Trust me, this is just, it's way better. It's way better. Having enough real estate on the phone to have buttons for things is brutal, okay? Speaking of which, that leads us into the next thing. It's really impossible to have a button for everything. So one way that you can reduce the need for button for everything is, well, a couple ways. You can have button combinations, you can have contextual buttons, and you can have pop-up buttons and all this kind of stuff. But you want to make it intuitive, right? So I found like one of the most intuitive things you can do is just have the text be a button. So you click on the text and like, oh, pack horse, I can do stuff with it. Very nice, right? And then one of the problems with that is you have to reach up to grab it or reach up to touch it, which is annoying. So I added buttons to the map. So I can click on the pack horse symbol here. As you can see, there's a P in the map that shows that there's a pack horse in the room. And then you can click on it and you can do stuff with it. Like, ooh, I'm gonna kill it, boom. And I'm on a god character right now, so it just chops it up in pieces and we don't actually get to see the fight. So let me actually, let me load another one here. This works really well for NPCs and players. This does not work very well for objects. So we do have object counters here, these little dots at the bottom of the map, or at the bottom of the room that you're in. This shows how many objects are in the room with you. Kind of the point of this is we're trying to reduce the problem of object permanence in MUME. A lot of beginners struggle with the fact of like, you know, you look at the room, you see what's in it, and then 10 lines of text go by, and you're like, wait, what's in the room again? This is supposed to give you a little bit of like oh yeah, there's these things in the room and stuff is happening, right? Anyway, this works really well for players and NPCs. Does not work great for objects right now because objects are not GMCP. They don't have a GMP module attached to them, so you basically just have to parse text from the log and be like, I guess this is in the room versus on the player versus Warren, and that is not a perfect system. And I don't really want to do a whole bunch of work on that until we have the GMCP data, but it works well enough for now if you want to, you know, just as a reminder of like, yeah, there's this many things. Anyway, this also works for doors, actually. So right here, we've got a door. You can click on it, and it'll open and close it. You can long press it, and it'll open up a menu for stuff you can do to the door. Great. Another way, this is kind of the third method. So we've got clicking on the map. We've got clicking on the text in the actual log. And then we've got these row of buttons here that's right underneath this room description. Another reason for putting this here, the room name and room description, is a lot of people really like to read the room descriptions. And this allows them to kind of connect it to their location on the map a little bit better, give them, again, a little bit better sense of object permanence, like, oh yeah, I'm still in this room, even though maybe a whole lot of text went by. But we got these buttons right here. And the whole point of these buttons is that they are, I call them swipe wheels, right? But it allows you to pick something that's very important and swipe in that direction to fire it. And you can do the thing. That was the flee button. That's why I did that, right? Anyway, this allows players, this is a little bit more complex for players because you have to memorize what button does what. Right now it's organized. Each color is a class, essentially, except for blue. Blue is for doors. And the reason is sometimes like combat or whatever, you need to be able to spam do something. So if I click on a door, on the map, like if I just keep clicking on it, it's going to open and close it, right? Which sometimes you need to spam close something. And the way that you do that now, or if you need to, is you can swipe down on this and it'll show you, oh, close, right? And then I can spam that, and that allows you to spam things, right? This works the same for pretty much everything else. Let's see here. Speaking of which, actually, let's talk about these tactical buttons a little bit more, these line buttons here. The reason that they are really important is, like, again, you have a lot of situations where you have to do something, you want to do something that is not necessarily related to another player. Let's say I want to like cast armor spell or something, or bless or whatever. The way that you can do that is you, again, you have these tactical buttons. So right here, the yellow one, this is for clerics. So I can cast Create Water. I don't think I have Create Water, so that doesn't work. But actually, hey, we'll do this. We'll do this. I know I do have Bless. So what I can do is I can hold in a direction on this, and I can do a button combo. I can then tap the map, and what that does is it opens up a list of spells from clerics. I can release that, and now if I swipe up, oh, that's the wrong button. If I swipe up, now I do have the Bless. That is, I backfired. Are you kidding me? God character backfiring Bless in Valinor. Love it. Anyway, point is now I have the button mapped to swiping up, and I can do the same thing for like Cure Light. I can swipe down, tap the map, and Cure Light right there. So I can basically hot swap out spells, and that allows me to quickly adjust what I want, and then I can cast it a whole bunch of times if I want. Like, boom, wonderful, cool. There are sound effects. The kind of point of sound effects is that it's really hard to play the game without sound effects. If you're a newbie, they just kind of give you a sense of what's going on without having to read everything. I know that can be annoying to some people, but from a newbie's perspective, it's just undeniable that it makes things clearer. Like, I don't even have to be reading the text to know what's going on. Example right here, if I hit the pack horse, which I'm going to do this way instead of the kill command because I'm a god and I want to actually see the combat, I get to hear like, ah, oh, boom, we're hitting each other, waha. And he's, of course, not going to hit me because, again, I'm a god. But the concept is I can have my phone down, I can not be looking at it, I can know I'm hitting something, and then if I get hit, I'll know something's hitting me. I tried to keep the sound effects relatively minimal so that they're not like distracting, really just to give you important bits of information that you need to know. Like, is something hitting me? Did I just move? Am I hitting something? Did I cast a spell? Stuff like that. Like very, very basic, like, this is important because something important just happened. Another thing is, here, let's go ahead and let's make a cave. Well, no, let's just do another one of these. I'll go ahead and fight this pack horse here. There we go. This one's gonna, oh, he just died immediately. I get to see his stat bar. He's got nothing because he's just dying. But as we're fighting him, his health will tick down the same way it would. Basically, it's just going to tick down every like category. So if he goes from fine to hurt to bad to whatever, or wounded to bad to awful, you'll see it go down there. I like the fact that MUME keeps the information not super granular. I try to keep everything text-based, but in this scenario, again, we want to keep it intuitive, and like health bars are just, everybody understands a health bar. You look at it, it's so obvious what's going on, and so I couldn't do anything. Like, I just had to use it. Anyway, let's see here. We've got lighting effects. Right now it's night outside, and we're using like a lantern to see, so that's why you kind of see this little like glowing thing. Eventually it'll turn day, and then you'll see some daylight kind of effects. And we got these drawers down here, right? These drawers are supposed to allow you to access information easily as the player without having to send commands all the time, like equipment or inventory or who's on the player list, whatever, right? So I can see like, oh, look at all these people, and then I can click on them, and then I can, here's another thing. I'm still working on the button system here, but the way it works essentially is a button has, you can tag it with certain things. So, I don't know, what would we tag this with? Let's just say we're going to tag this is a player, so I need to fix the player things. But I can tag it as a weapon, and then when I hit him, it'll give me like the weapon. I can untag it. I can give him like the weapon buttons, right? So every thing will have some classification and like default tags attached to it, but you can also, as you encounter new things in the game, attach your own tags to them for them to do what you want them to do. But the point is, I could like click on this, and then I could talk to the person, right? this is just some basic character information. We got quests, we got skills here, and then we've got like some vital stats stuff that you would kind of like you would have if you were just spamming the stat button, which we were trying to reduce, right? There's a couple things that I still need to fix. Like, I don't really like this mood switcher thing. I need to put this somewhere. Another important thing I should mention is the way that we utilize talking to players, right? So it's kind of like, let's say I want to talk to, I don't know who I want to talk to. All right, this just gives me a list of players that I can talk to. I'm gonna send Jahara a text, right? And the way it works is you can kind of toggle on chat mode essentially, right? And what I can do is I can send him something, and then it'll send a tell, and then I can send another one, and it'll send another one. I can change this to, let's say, and I can be like, hello world. And I don't need to keep typing say, right? Because that's really annoying. I can of course tap it again, and then that'll remove it, and I'm back to playing the game, right? Let's see here. What else is there? We've got this little. I don't even know if I already talked about this. It's been so many times I've gone through this video, but we got the room description / name here. There's a whole bunch of options for things. One thing I wanted to do, so at the top here in the header, we see the name, the level, and like XP to next level and stuff. Right now it's showing 0 because there's no more XP to get at this, for God characters. You are immediately elevated to 100, and then every level or every like tier of God, you go up one. So that's not showing anything right now, but I wanted to give newbies an idea of like when you log on, you immediately feel some progression. If we kill something, which I can't show you right now, come on, God. But you'll get a little XP ticker up here, and it'll show you gained 50 XP from killing something, and then your to next level will go down. So it's a clear indication the moment you fight anything or you gain any TPs that you made progress on the character. We got a little, so the in the center here, when we fight something, let me go find something to fight. I'll just make something to fight. There we go. Hit pack. This little indicator here in the center shows you that you are in combat with somebody. I'm gonna go ahead and flee out. But when you're not in combat, it just shows you what your position is, right? So I can be sitting down, and it'll be like, oh, you're sitting down, you're resting, you're going to sleep, right? And then you can get up and stand and walk around and do your thing, right? Let me think, what else is there? A lot of these effects that you see, like the lighting effects, and they also apply to weather and like these little embers on here. I think they just add a lot of ambiance, and I like them, but you can obviously turn these off. Let me think. I think that's most of. I think we covered a lot of it. Yeah. So a lot of it's still a work in progress, but this is kind of the experience. And oh yeah, here we get to see sunlight somewhere. There's a sunlight. Ah, it's bright. In terms of aesthetics, I was definitely going for. There's a bunch of ways you can go aesthetics. It doesn't really matter. I saw that Kazdul just released his MUME cockpit recently, and that looks really cool. He's got like retro vibes and stuff. I tried that. I tried to go down that road, but I just wasn't very good at it. And I just kind of went down this rabbit hole, and this is kind of the way it looked. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, one more very important thing is that oftentimes if you're like pointing and clicking is really useful in something like this. So obviously you can click on buttons that are already existing, like if there's a object in the room or not that, or a NPC, right? But what if you want to click on something random, right? Well, one way you can do that is this targeting system. So what you can do is you can double tap on anything in the log and it will turn that into your target. Any button now will try to attack whatever your target is, right? So if I was trying to hit something, or let's go back to my cast bless spell. Now it's going to try to bless whatever my target is, which is what I selected in the log, which is the word mounted, right? I can click that up the top and that'll remove that. It's kind of like a little pointer system that you've got. You can also click it and then type in whatever you want to do. So now let's do Rogan. Right, and then whatever my, like in this situation, well, the exits are not going to apply to that, but my buttons will now target the target, right? If that makes sense. And of course, if there's no target, then they're not going to try to target anything. I think that's pretty much it. We also have up and down exits here, which I don't think I showed, but these are just diagonal swipes. The map is already pre-enabled, and you just explore it. You can obviously just show the entire map if you want, but the point is this allows newbies to kind of explore the map on their own, and it feels like it's starting from scratch as opposed to like, here's a pre-built map for you. And I think that's pretty much it. I think that's the bulk of it. That's the bulk of it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and if you have suggestions or you've tried it out and you're like, this is terrible. You've got to fix this because I need to be able to see this, right? Then let me know. But I think that's all the main stuff. And the whole goal is hopefully we it's not really meant to replace Mapper or anything. I think Mapper is like the best way to experience MUME in terms of like just the default. But I am not skilled enough to be able to start with Mapper as a base and then build off of that. So it was just easier to just build a little web app that can do it from scratch. So hopefully if this actually works and we can utilize this for getting players onto MUME in like a mobile game or like on mobile, then we could integrate this into Mapper somehow. But it is what it is for right now. Let me know what you think, and that's it. Peace.